Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. This is Rick. I wanted to thank you for coming to join us today. I figured I'll go over a couple quick ground rules for the webinar as we wait for everyone to kind of join us here. Typically, the first question I always get asked is, will copies of these slides be made available? And the answer is yes. We will send these out to you either later today or, unfortunately, I will be on vacation next week, so maybe the following week. I'm also recording this as well, so we'll send you the link of the recorded version of this as well. Second thing is, I know there will be questions that do come up. Please feel free to use the question panel inside of the GoToMeeting window. Use that to type in whatever questions you have, and at the end we'll have time that I can go through and I'll read each question out loud, and then I'll give you the answer, and we'll just move on from there. So we're really excited because I know a number of our clients have asked about integrating these payroll input reminders into Push, and we're happy that it's out there and it's live today. So let's just kind of look at this on a high level. We know a lot of you do this manually. I can tell you our payroll provider does it manually because we sometimes forget to input our payroll on time. I know tisk. We're the bad client sometimes, but obviously it happens a lot, and we know a lot of you manually will email or call your clients reminding them that their payroll is due. So Push will now do that in an automated fashion for you. And one of the things, and I jokingly say here, is Push will never forget. I can't tell you how many times I've heard stories about payroll companies, and they always say, man, the one time I forgot to remind this client, they called up and complained that we forgot to remind them to input their payroll. So the good thing with Push is it's all automated. Push will never forget. And the notifications that Push are going to send out is going to be based off of the payroll schedule. And we've built an import mechanism so that you can extract the payroll schedule out of your payroll system, and we'll import it automatically into FileGuardian. And it's going to be a very simple and easy process, and I'm going to walk you through in a little bit the steps you need to take to do this. Your clients can then be notified, just like with any other Push alert, via email or text message. And you're going to be able to create customizable schedules per client. And when we mean that, we're really talking about you're going to be able to customize the time zone for us to utilize, the initial time of day that you want the reminder to be sent out, and whether or not you would like a follow-up schedule. So I always kind of equate it to Outlook when you set a reminder into Outlook and you say, hey, remind me 15 minutes before the meeting, and then you say 15 minutes comes up, you get the reminder, and you push snooze, and then 5 minutes later the reminder comes up again. Well, that's kind of the same philosophy that we have here with these payroll input reminders, is you can set up this follow-up schedule. And I want to kind of show you what that looks like here. So when you create a payroll input reminder Push subscription, what you're going to see is the schedule is going to be visible below the selection of the Push type. So here I can see on the left, I've selected the text message payroll input reminder, and now I can set up what the specific schedule is for this client. So I'm going to pick their time zone, and by default, FileGuardian will actually default it to your local time zone. You'll be able to say, this is the first reminder time that I want to be sent out. And then if you want to set up follow-up reminders, that's what point C is. How often should a follow-up reminder be sent? And how many follow-up reminders should we send? So you can see on the view on the right here, I've set it so that the first reminder will be sent at 9 a.m. and then every 60 minutes, the client will be reminded 3 more times. So every 60 minutes, they'll keep on reminding. And you can see on the right-hand side, you're going to see the schedule. As you customize the subscription, the schedule is going to show you exactly what Push is going to do and when those reminders are going to be sent. Now, just so we take a step back, the The reminders are going to be sent based upon what the input or process date is defined for the payroll inside of your payroll system. So to set up a client, we're going to input their payroll schedule. We're going to then set up the subscriptions. Now, inputting the schedule is not very difficult. You can conduct the payroll input by extracting their payroll schedule out of your payroll system. Luckily for you that use PayChoice or for you that use MPay, some clients have actually already generated the reports that you would need in order to actually do this, and I have them coming up in the next couple of slides. For anybody who uses Evo, we can do this with Evo as well. We just need someone to help us get the extract out of Evo that we need. So you're going to run this export out of your payroll system. You're then going to rename the file to this specific file notation. So you're going to name it shugo-import-schedule-whatever else you want .csv. And you're going to take that file and you're going to place it into the folder that our FGX software monitors today for report delivery. Once that file gets into that folder, the import will automatically happen. And we know the import will happen again. That file naming is key because if the file is not named that way, we do not know that this is a payroll schedule input file. Now, as I have up here above, you can generate this CSV with one client, or you can generate the CSV with your entire client base and import the entire client base at one time. We ran a test with a 3100 record CSV file with over 1200 client schedules in there. No problem. The import occurred at absolutely no problem. So just to recap, extract the schedule out of your payroll system, name the file in this specific file naming format, drop that CSV into the folder where our FGX software already monitors, and then we'll actually email whoever is set up as your FGX admin a report after the import has occurred. Now, for anyone running PayChoice, these are the instructions to get the extract report definition. And big thank you to Andre and Mark for their help with this. They actually put this together for everybody. I have links here to where the locations of these files are, and Andre was also nice enough to put these instructions, send these instructions to me as well. I have absolutely no clue what it means, but I think you that run PayChoice will understand what these specific pieces mean. Now, for those of you who run MPay, thank you to Baha. He put together a report and he gave me the screenshots for the MPay report, the report extract that you can follow screen by screen on how to do this. So these would be the MPay views. Now again, remember, this is the first part. You're going to create the extract, name it the certain name, put it into the File Guardian folder where our FGX software is monitoring, and the import will occur. Now, when the import occurs, here is, excuse me, I just want to move these out of my window here. When the import occurs, the left-hand side will show you a sample of the import report that you will receive if you're the FGX admin. You can see the date and time of the import, the number of rows in the file, how many inserts or updates were made into FGX, how many business rule failures, etc., etc., etc. And you can see at the very bottom of this, any business rule errors will be denoted and will show you the exact rows that failed it. On the right-hand side, what you're going to see is on the push tab of your client's FGX rule, you can then view the payroll schedules that are upcoming that we've imported into File Guardian Express. So just very simple way that you can actually see after the import occurs, you're going to get the import report if you're the admin, and on the right-hand side, it'll show you if you're on their FGX rule, you can view their payroll schedule. Now, one of the things is it's very hard to demo this in a case, but what we did earlier was we set up an email reminder from one of our sample payroll companies, and just to show you, this was a sample email that I just received as a reminder letting me know that my payroll was due. And if this webinar goes on to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to receive a follow-up reminder that lets me know that my payroll is due as well. So this is a sample. Again, this is the email delivery, and you can also set the client up for the SMS delivery. So just some simple FAQs that I wanted to walk through. Are these live today? And the answer is 100% yes. You can start using this today if you'd like. Remember, the reminders can be delivered via either SMS text message or they could be delivered via email. You can customize the schedule for the client. Again, time zone as well as the initial reminder time, and if you'd like to do a follow-up schedule. If the client has processed their payroll and the payroll reports are being delivered through FGX, we'll disable the input reminders that may have been scheduled for this client so that we don't keep on spamming them even though their payroll has run. Does the client need to have FGX report delivery to use these? And the answer is no, the client does not need to be on FGX report delivery, but if they're not, I don't recommend you putting a follow-up schedule in place because then you might be spamming the client even though their payroll has been imported. Only when FGX is delivering their reports do we know if the payroll has processed yet or not, and we can disable them automatically. Can the import file that you generate out of your payroll system, can that contain schedules for more than one client? And the answer is yes. The import file you generate can contain a single client's payroll schedule or it can contain your entire client's payroll schedule. The only thing I will tell you is make sure you have their FGX rules set up before you do an import for a specific client, because if you don't, you're going to see a bunch of business rule errors because the system's going to say, hey, I got this payroll schedule to be imported for this client, but I don't have them set up with an FGX rule, so I can't import it right now. The import itself is intelligent, so don't be afraid if you generate the same import file over and over again. We will not duplicate the payrolls that are scheduled within File Guardian and create duplicates in there. The system is smart enough to know that, typically there's going to be one, maybe two payroll scheduled on a specific check date. So we'll make sure that it's intelligent and we don't create duplicate entries. Obviously, if you don't have push activated, getting that started is pretty simple and easy. But that's kind of all I wanted to walk through today. I know we went through a lot quickly, and I see a bunch of questions came up. So let me go through these questions one by one. As I go through them, please use the question panel, and I will make sure to read them out loud and get everybody the answer. So the first question is this setup something we can import initially? You can import the payroll schedules, but you cannot import the actual push subscriptions on a client-by-client level. We have not created an import facility for that today. Again, we created the import for the payroll schedule, but we don't have an import available today to set up the actual push subscriptions. The question came in about delivery mechanisms. Can it be email instead of text? And the answer is yes. You can do email or text. Pick that for the client as whichever delivery mechanism you like. It looks like I have an update that I'm going to make. Andre, wrote into me here. He's on this webinar with us as well. It looks like I'm going to make a quick update to the pay choice instruction slide that I have back in here. Oops, let me go back to my my slideshow again. Andre let me know that these links, I will be making a quick update to them later today of the specific files that are necessary. It looks like I have one in there that's wrong. Thanks, Andre. I'll make sure I get that out to everybody and I'll get this updated. A question came in, can we customize the reminder message that gets sent out to each client? The answer to that is no. We don't have the capability today to allow customizable messages to go out to the client. We do have the client code that gets appended to the message itself, but there isn't a way today to allow you to customize the message that gets sent to the client. We will, another question is there a training material or manual on how to do this? These set of slides will probably give you mostly everything that you're going to need in order to set up these input reminders. We will also have a blog post that we'll be publishing here soon as well. So we will make sure that that is available for you to provide you material on how to make sure that you set everything up correctly. A question, is there an additional charge for multiple reminders to a client? Push pricing today is based upon messages that are delivered. So if we sent the client 5 reminders, that would serve as 5 different messages. So in that case, there would be a charge per reminder that is sent out. A question came on is, on customizing the reminder message, is this something that will eventually be implemented? I can't give you a yes or no answer to that today. I don't have a good answer for you today. I don't want to tell you that we will never implement it, and I don't want to tell you that we will implement it. I don't know. One of the things that's always a little bit unique with some of these things with push is we're constrained to 160 characters because of text messaging limitations. But like I said, I can't tell you today if we will or not in the future allow you to customize the specific messages. Question, what if the client changes their check date? How do we update their schedule for push? The answer is just use the report extract out of your payroll system and re-import their payroll schedule again. The system will make the necessary updates. If the check date is something that is changed, let our team know. Our team will have the capability to change the check date on a specific payroll. I know there's not a great automated way to do it, but I hope by now you know that when you do ask us to make sort of these changes, we'll typically get them done for you within 5 or 10 minutes. So just reach out to us if a check date does change, and we can make those changes. A question came in, what is the charge per push reminder? Push starts at $15 a month. That gets you your own local text message phone number plus your first 100 messages that you send out. Any message on top of 100, there is a per message charge, and it's a tiered pricing. So for message 101 to 299, it's 10 cents a message, and for any message over 300, it's 8 cents a message. So they were the initial questions. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to show you, I'm going to go into one of my companies here, and I'm going to actually show you how that I would set up one of these push subscriptions for one of my clients. So what I'll end up doing is this is my pay choice sample. So for those of you who use MPay, you know how to get to a client's FGX rule, but for pay choice, it's obviously a little bit different. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to go to the client's push tab. Once in their push tab, what I will see now is the available push types are changed. I'm going to just pick email in this case. I can now customize my schedule for this client. So I'm going to say, you know what, they're a central time, and I'm going to do 9:30 is going to be the first, and then I'm going to go every 90 minutes. I'm going to send 2 follow-up reminders, so I can see 9:30 reminder will go out, 11 a.m. a reminder will go out, and at 12:30. I'll then pick who I would like to send it to from this company. So I'm going to pick one of my existing contacts for this company, Bill Biz, and I'm going to save Bill's subscription. So I've just created Bill's subscription. If I need to change it or change his schedule, I can obviously do that here by clicking the Edit Schedule. I can change this to be whatever I would need to if I want to change it for him, etc. But that's as simple as it is to set up these push subscriptions. So it's all automated. You just need to extract, again, the payroll schedule out of your payroll system. The slides will have the details for pay choice and MPay. Anybody who uses Evo, we'd love to work with you to produce this extract out of Evo. After the import has occurred, you can go to the client-specific rule, and then you set up their push subscription and select one of the payroll input reminders. And that's how it works. And then, like you said, they're going to get these reminders, and it's automated. What File Guardian does is the morning of check date, so maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, the schedule gets generated for that day. And at that point in time, we'll know the notifications that we're going to send out to your clients for that day. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I'm going to stay on for a little bit. If there's any other questions that come about, please type them in the window. If there's something maybe I didn't explain as well, let me know. Again, I'm going to do my best here to get you copies of the slides that we have today. I'll make that update per Andre's recommendation for the one file that I'm missing for you pay choice folks. I will also, like I said, I'll be here for a couple more minutes if any questions come up. If you have any other questions, please give me a call. I'll be on vacation next week, but the rest of the team will be here, so we'll be here to help you out as well. So anything else, I appreciate it. We will be having a Hub webinar in a few weeks. If you haven't heard about Hub, Hub is something new that we're putting together as well, a result of feedback from a bunch of clients. Hub will essentially be your client's intranet portal that you can offer them, which will include their pay stub W-2 delivery, some light ESS functionality with a document library, a link repository, so they could post their employee handbooks or special links to their benefit programs. It will be very simple time and attendance built in, some basic clock in and clock out. Push alerts are obviously integrated with pay stub delivery for their net pay and their direct deposit, their scheduled direct deposits. And we will also have a very small PTO request workflow built into Hub. And one of the great things about Hub is Hub will be mobile and text message friendly, so it can be accessible on any smartphone. We have an Android app and an iPhone app that is being developed. The Android version is actually finished. The iPhone is actually underway right now as well. And what we're really looking for is some early adopters. Anybody who would like to join us as an early adopter, what you're going to see is we're probably going to do an alpha release in July, a beta release in August. So you can use Hub and your clients can use Hub free for 60 days during that time if you'd like to be an early adopter. So thanks again for coming. If you need anything, let us know. If we can help with anything else, please let us know. Payroll input reminders, they're live. You can start using them today. Hub is coming soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. And like I said, if we can help with anything else, just let us know.